Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan. Today we are doing another simple signal stream, and I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for the next coming days because we are getting closer and closer to the turning point. I think the turning point anyway, for Bitcoin and the market as a whole. Obviously, there's a lot of positivity going on in the last couple of days. If you've been, catching up with the crypto news, you will know all about that. I'm excited for mainly tomorrow and the weekend and the start of obviously next month. And I'm quite excited for this stream actually, because I did a tiny bit before the stream went live just to make sure I know what's going on within Bitcoin and some other things. And I found something pretty interesting. I found something very, very interesting, which might, provide another turning point for what's going on. Now, we haven't really moved down. Now, we've been really caught up in this small range. If you've been watching the Bitcoin charts, you'll know what I'm talking about, possibly. If you go to maybe like the 1 hour, the 4 hour, you'll see we're kind of in this little range in comparison to where we've been from anyway. We've been in a really small range. We've been really stuck at this bottom line, which I drew, a couple of streams ago. So, although, like I said, I found something, 10, 15 minutes ago on the Bitcoin chart, which might help us to move somewhere. However, I might need to give a big update on the prices because we haven't actually moved down yet. So it might be a bit latent. But regardless, we'll get into that when we look at the charts. So welcome to everybody on the stream. I'm thanking you all for joining. I really do appreciate you being here. If you do have any coins, though, any coin, it can be a new one, it could be an old one. Obviously, preferably it's on TradingView. Put it in the chat, depending on where you are and how active the chat is. Say it a couple times. I will read it out loud and add it to my list when it is there. So I think that is pretty much it. Obviously, if you can see top left of your screen, you see this weird-looking monkey, yellow monkey. Like, what the hell does that mean? Well, that and many other things I will allude to during the stream are in the descriptions. Many links I might talk about will be in the description, mainly Telegram as well. So go join there and check these guys out. They are a non-KYC trading platform. It's decentralized. It's a system where no one has kind of ownership of the money in terms of they can't steal your money. There's no KYC. You can go in and start trading immediately. It's a good system. The link down there explains it better than I do. So just go check that out. But like I said, I'm going to continue and we're going to start streaming right now. So let's get into it. Have a quick look at CoinMarketCap though, just see some percentages, see what's going on. The price is 61,626. I think we reached 62 today, waked up to there. But currently, right now, about 61.5-ish. Right now, 3,442. I'm pretty sure that hasn't changed at all over anything. You see 24 hour, 2.5% up. 7-day 2.23. You can see over the general we haven't really moved, and we might. I can't remember what we looked at last time on last stream, but we haven't really seen too much movement for this. Still on 148. I think that's gone up a pretty good amount. I can see as well, obviously by this little chart. 9.5% 24 hour, 10% 7-day. Really, really good positivity. I can't remember. I don't believe there was any chart pattern which suggested that. I can't remember. Again, like I said, we will get into it when we go on. But that's pretty much it for there. I suppose we'll just move on to the charts. Now, this is exciting. Okay, this is exciting. I might need to move on to a different chart there because I keep on running away from my own messes because I draw so many things on a chart, even on this chart. This chart on a different exchange, it wasn't supposed to be this messy. I was supposed to have a clean chart. Obviously, my main chart is an absolute tip. And this one wasn't supposed to be that dirty, but lo and behold, I've made it really dirty. So I might need to jump ship again. But regardless, I think I'll just show you guys what we're here for. So on the daily, you can see as well, we do have pretty good positivity for MarketCypher. And if you're just someone who would solely use MarketCypher, you'd be thinking right now to yourself, oh my God, this is the most positive we've seen it ever. We're going to absolutely, tear right now. Well, yes, but I think I'd hold on a bit. And, I always do say this as well, even to myself and to, everyone on the stream, whenever I look at MarketCypher, I always have to mention it is a directional tool. It is not a positional tool. If you've got resistance above you, if you've got support below you, or anything in between, and it's saying a certain direction, you always have to take into consideration price areas, price points of support resistance, like I said, which will stop you from moving. However, when there's that much power like we have right now, this is the daily MarketCypher. This is the lowest momentum we've seen in an absolute age. This is obviously really low money flow, obviously. VWAP's been coming up for a while now. So there's a lot of power behind us in terms of positive movement. However, it's not the be-all and end-all things. So I do still think we have potential coming into the next points, which I'm about to mention right now on the lower time frames. I think I'm on the hour for this as well. So it's a bit messy. There's a lot of white lines. I should probably delete this line because this is a mess. There we go. Let's clean this up a bit. That's good. So let's go to the 1 hour. So this makes it a bit easier to see. Okay, so this makes it a bit easier to see. This is not a good thing. Okay, this is, I'm pretty sure this is bearish. Let me make sure. Obviously, you'll bring up the chart patterns, as you can see right there. It's not a descending triangle, it's a descending wedge. Yeah, there is bear pennant, whatever. Yeah. Oh no. There, rising wedge. There's so many different names of them. Here it is, bearish rising wedge. There's so many different names for so many different things. Rising wedge, wherever the hell. Actually, let me shimmy this properly to make sure it's a properly drawn thing. Because obviously, the lower time frames you go, the more you have to consider how accurate something is. So yeah, there's our wedge, and obviously we're bouncing now, bounce, coming up to here. Obviously, we're coming down a bit, but the top point now of this line is where our midpoint is for this order block, which we've been, stuck below for like a couple of days now. So, a bit hard. I felt some cash back. I feel like I need to buy something. Well. Glad you say that, because what I'm getting into, what I'm alluding to, we do have some big potential for Bitcoin and a potential move down. So, like I always do mention with Bitcoin, obviously, depending on what time frame you are, momentums and money flows, you can never completely restrict them to 60 marks. Especially, we can see we've been pretty heavily on the momentum side of things overbought. RSI pretty overbought. Obviously, VWAP's been coming down for a while. Money flow's starting to arc a bit. This is the 1 hour, so a bit faster paced, not as completely accurate as most things. But regardless, I do think there's still potential to move up. So what I think, obviously we're kind of crabbing here. I still think we have potential to move up. This is on the 1 hour. And then, this VWAP's doing its thing. I think we're going to halter a bit. I think we're going to bounce off this bottom point. What could happen? It's not really a double top or anything. But I do think we can possibly come back up to our range, because then we'll have, our bounce here, boom, 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 boom. Potential a little bit of a doing like that. But again, that comes in towards Friday, when I thought we were supposed to kind of come up. But I do have Sunday the 30th coming to the start of the next month, which is when I roughly think we're going to start to come upwards. So we still have time. Like I said, we still have time to come upwards. And if we look at the magnitude, because the 4 hours make it look a bit easier. If we look at the magnitude of our, kind of a flag pole, whatever you want to call it, measurement. Just want to make sure I get this as accurate as possible. It brings us, if we shimmy it, you can see it comes from down here, and we shimmy it. Hold on, there's so many things on the screen, it's so hard to pick up. Obviously it maybe come towards here, but potentially to go towards the other end, up here, when we get towards 62.5 maybe. It brings us to around 57-ish. So my aim was about 56.5, 56. Obviously 55.5 was the lowest point, which we bounced off. But, this line is suggesting about 57.3. Obviously that also brings us to about, down here, when we had this range. If we, we kind of bounced off here a couple times. Let me make this a bit thicker. It basically brings us to that line, as you can see there. So my estimate of 55.5, 56 could be bumped up now to 57.4. But we haven't come down to there yet. So we still have time to change these things. But I do think we have potential for this. Now, obviously, chart patterns are never 100% accurate all the time, every time, regardless of what's going on. There is still potential for it to not do something. I mean, even this. Okay, this is a great example of Mark Cypher being a directional, not positional. This, I remember looking back on it, this was the lowest we saw. I remember pointing this out on the last stream before. No, this is probably last stream. But yeah, this was last stream. This was the lowest we saw every single field for Mark Cypher on the 4 hour since like 19th of August. Yet we only moved up, 4.5%. Because what happened? We bounced off the midpoint of the order block. So this, I'm reiterating this point because, when even I do it, it tricks me. My little, reptilian brain goes, oh my God, this is the lowest we've seen Bitcoin. It should surge up. We're going to break every single resistance point. We're going to 70k right now. It's all over. You've done the wrong thing on stream. You've told everyone the wrong information. And now, everyone's going to stop listening to you. This is my point. My point is, this is the lowest we saw this, yet we still only bounced off on the order block. So my point is, even no matter how low you think you are, or how little you may move for Mark Cypher, just remember, just pay attention to where it thinks we can go. It thinks, Momentum's coming up, money flow's coming up, VWAP's coming up. It thinks we can go up. I still think we could come up as well. I think we come up towards 62.3. So that's what Marketplace is telling me, alongside my resistance level of number 1, this rising wedge, or whatever the bearish rising wedge, whatever it's called, and number 2, the midpoint of this order block, which we've had, which is like a daily one. I think it's a really, really strong order block. So just want to point that out as well. Obviously, when I continue my Marketplace for B series, which I'm planning to do tonight and tomorrow, going into Saturday. I was thinking, because I didn't know if I wanted to stream today or tomorrow and upload today or tomorrow. But I think I'm going to upload the next video in the series tomorrow and stream today, because I think we are streaming on Saturday as well in the office. You know, me and Mike, that's the big stream with all the professional bells and whistles, and we will be looking at the charts again. So I wanted to have a day in between where either I could, you know, upload to our Telegram if anything happens. Again, like I said, go to the description, check the links out. Telegram link will be there. Join there. If you've got any questions about charts, anything, I will answer it, hopefully in due time. But no, like I said, I wanted to stream today because I think we're in a good position to have new updated information, which will allow us to move, you know, this, that, the other. Obviously, Friday I can upload to Telegram, and Saturday we'll be streaming again to update the charts. So I think today is a good day, and obviously I think it's a good day because we do have this pattern forming of potential. So what I think currently, coming into the next couple hours towards maybe the start of Friday into Friday, I think we continue to go upwards towards 62.3, 62.35 in this area, basically towards the top of this order block, and we're going to bounce off it one more time, I think, and then we're going to come down. But normally in patterns, obviously you'll have 3 or 4 bounces. So you know, we've only had kind of 2 bounces so far, so we could have a bounce and a bounce again. So I think we could have, coming into continuing from Friday, I think within Friday we come down towards the bottom of the order block at about 61.5, and then we bounce again coming upwards, because then at that point we'll have enough time in our range. Obviously, you know, bouncing 3 or 4 times in a range, it can happen sooner, it can happen later, and also, like I mentioned as well, you know, chart patterns are never 100% accurate all the time, every time. So like I said, let me just scroll down quickly. All right. So yeah, like I said, they don't have to happen all the time, but if they were to happen, you normally have to bounce a couple times within them. You know, I don't think, you know, we could happen right now. As soon as we bounce off 62.3 and come down, I don't think we're going to immediately come down. I think we have another bounce though, of potential, because you can see, you know, as we're starting to arc, I think we're gonna have like a 3. You know, we're gonna have a third momentum wave print above here. You can see, you know, wave here, you know, wave here, wave here. We're kind of having this arc as we come upwards, and I think our VWAP is going to be at a position where we're going to be really high, and then we're going to come down again. However, I mean, to be fair, our VWAP is really high right now, and you can see last time we had a VWAP. If I zoom in on the VWAP right now, you know, last time we had positions of the VWAP, you know, here, here, and here, we came down. You know, so here, here, and where we are right now. So we could, you know, necessarily be in a different sort of range. You know, if we draw an intermediary, if we ignore this rising wedge, which is a bear pattern as well, we also have this, you know, bounce could happen even sooner. I believe it's also a bearish one. I believe it's bear pennant, or I think it's a bear pennant, right? This is a bear pennant. So you can see, you know, on the 4 hour, we have potential for there to be a different type of bearish chart pattern coming into, you know, as we go along, which suggests to us that by the end of tomorrow, roughly should be when we come out. So we have that potential as well. If we do print out in the next 43 minutes here and we come down, because our VWAP is really high, it's not arcing. So either number 1, we start to arc on, you know, the VWAP and the money flow, and everything starts to come down, and we print at 61,649, and then we continue to come down. If that happens, I think we have difficulty within 61 in this really, really messy range here. Again, I'm sorry, these ranges are just horribly, it's really zoomed in, and the chart's a mess, but, you know, whatever. If we do print below here, which is potential, then I think we're going to be in this shorter range, and it could happen within tomorrow, you know, late afternoon tomorrow, where we do come down, which would come down even lower. You know, if we shimmy this pole, which is going to be the same pole because they're basically the same movement. There we go, shimmy that. It would bring us even lower towards 56.5, which is what I've been saying, 56.5. So there's that potential on the 4 hour anyway. There's that potential for us to be in this bear pennant and fall out of it and come down towards 56.5. But again, obviously we do have this line which has been difficult to come down. And obviously if you're someone who looks at liquidity points, and someone who looks at low wick points, and when you print below them, you reverse. We are technically printing higher lows. So there's that spin on things. There's a lot of different ways of looking at the same thing, and it might give you different answers depending. So I think, I do think there's a bullish spin on them and a bearish spin to look on, the current 4-hour situation on Bitcoin. However, what I have right now is both this rising wedge and this pennant, which both suggests a bearish movement. Number one, I know Mike was saying that we should, come above this order block and kind of come back upwards. We didn't do that. We stayed below this order block, which is what I said we should be doing. And hopefully, if we do that, it would suggest we should come down. But we've pretty much bounced. We've bounced like so many times. This is the 4-hour. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've bounced like 4 times now off of this order block. We've barely even printed above it. We've barely even tried to get above it. So this is a really good order block. And again, it is a daily order block. So I think there's major difficulty at this order block. You can see here, 3 days in a row, we've bounced off it. We haven't got anywhere near trying to break it. So I think out of either this daily order block or this low wick, I think this low wick would be something to break. Another spin on things as well is you've got this descending triangle. So if within the daily, there's so many things to look at. Oh my god. I will move on soon, don't worry. And again, I will reiterate, if you've got any coins you want me to cover, put it in the chat. I will read it out when I've seen it, and I'll put it in my list of coins to look at. So, put some coins down in the description. Another spin on things. Additional, if we print below about 61,370, which I think, what did I say we would do? Yeah, well, if we print below, coming down towards 61,3 whatever, which is there's many potential, I don't know what that means. But look, you can see, if we come down now as we bounce and have another candle of coming down, I think there's enough time in 8 hours to come down towards 61,3 whatever, which would back up on the daily time frame, printing below this negative trend line. You can, if I highlight it, this kind of trend line here, this would be, you see we bouncing, we're kind of in this range, in this area where we have this this low point. This is technically a descending triangle. So you can see bottom left here, descending triangle, or bottom right here, descending triangle. What's a moon cycle? That is true. The moon cycle is bullish. However, that is a daily thing, and I've already looked at it. I've already made my argument. I've already said my piece on moon cycles. I've already said my piece. I will bring it back up though. Moon phases, there it is. My piece is that we don't have to necessarily immediately move upwards as we go along, and we don't even have to move according to the moon cycle. You can see this one here. This is a bearish moon phase, whatever the hell. Yeah, we still came up. What else is there? This was bullish. We technically ended out, but we didn't really move up too much. Obviously, this was good. I'm trying to find an example here. This is a perfect example. You see, moon phase started, we came up, and then we came down. So what I think is going to happen, I think the inverse of that's going to happen. I think, moon phase happens, we come down, and then we come up, which is what we have on our other chart, which is the tick, where I think we go towards 70,500 and, so on and so forth. So I've said my piece. I think we can come down before we come up. Yeah. TOS Protocol and Margaret, yep, absolutely. I'll write them down. Yeah, so like I said, if we, this is another spin. So we've got number one. So let's do some like Dawdle Explorer counting. So we've got the bear pennant on the 4-hour. We've got the potential bear rising wedge if we don't follow through with this bear pennant. We've got a descending triangle on the daily. We've got this humongous order block which we haven't even attempted to get above. We've got so much, so much keeping us of potential of down. Knowing my luck, I say all these things, yet we still go up. So, I'm convinced. I'm not, like, you can never be 100% right. Obviously, crystal ball, whatnot, I can never know 100% what's going to happen. I do think we come down a bit more before we go up. And I think it's going to happen very soon. I don't necessarily think, this is our lowest point from the wick, which is 55.5. However, before we come down to there, because, I'm glad we haven't come down yet, because, I was saying, oh yeah, 55.58, 55.6, or 56. However, I want to preface, we don't necessarily, and you know, I know some of you guys talking about DCAing. I think Reza, you were talking about DCAing, I believe. I think DCAing is the right way of going about this, because you want something rather than nothing. Like, even right now, if you play for the long run, you know, if you play for the month and a half we have of bullishness potential, you could buy right now. This is low enough, I think. You know, you can see we're basically below the midpoint. You could buy, you know, I think we come down, but we can come back up, you know, and from what I think, we'll have our 3 bounces. You see, you know, bounce, bounce, bounce. I think now is when we break out of this bull flag and come upwards, where this flag suggests we come towards 88.5. And this, you know, the gradient of it suggests about middle of August. So if you play it in the long run, about a month and a half, you know, you'd be positive anyway. So again, DCA, you know, yeah, yes, exactly. DCA, you know, you advisable, you know, obviously you don't have to. So my only preface is, out of all this situation is, we might not come all the way down to 55.5. It might be something between 57.5 or 56. So I'll just say that. So the pennant, if we don't break out of it, suggests about 56.5, or we've got 57.5. So that range, I'll be buying within that range. If we come towards 57.5, I'll be buying. I'll just buy, and just buy within that range, and then just wait it out. Is what I'd do anyway. But yeah, like I said, in terms of miniature movement within the next, you know, hours, 8 hours, whatever it is, I think we do come down. I think we've basically bounced off of this top point. Maybe we come up within the next 35 minutes, come towards 61.67, which is basically nothing. It's about basically like $80, whatever it is. But I think we come down, coming up, you know, if we don't break out right now, if we, you know, within this candle or the next candle, on the 4 hour, or the 1 hour, you can see that on the 1 hour we have printed above it, but you know, we're still holding strong on the 4 hour, really nicely on this pennant. That if we, you know, if within now or 10 o'clock onwards we print above this, then obviously I think we still have until, you know, Friday, Saturday time to come down. However, if we stay within this range, if we bounce right now and start to come downwards, then I think it'll happen within the midpoint of tomorrow, that we start to move down a bit. However, you know, my confidence in this falters slightly due to the fact that I think it would have been nice if this happened a bit sooner, because, you know, I think that the positive news is happening. I know that the 4th of July is when this happened, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. I don't know when they're announcing. I don't know if they've already announced it. I've actually been out of the loop, but I think they, you know, well, Mike thinks it's like 4th of July. I don't know if they've said anything. I can't remember. But obviously that would be sell the news, whatever. However, if and positive announcements start to come out, it might, you know, detract from the bearish potential of where we are in right now. So, you know, there's some caveats to a lot of this, but I suppose it is just what's in your gut and whatnot. But again, not financial advice. I'll preface this again. I say this in every stream. I'm obliged to say this every stream, not financial advice. If you take any of these trades, make sure it's based on your own technical expertise and it's not mine. Whatever. So I think that's kind of it for Bitcoin. I'd like to see though, what does my this chart say? It's been a while since I've looked at this chart. Damn, it's been a while. So boom, boom, boom. Oh, this is kind of right. This is really good actually. Yeah, it came down. I thought we were going to bounce off this, but we came above. You can see surge, bounce. Really nicely. What am I saying? Really nicely respected this order block. That's what I love about order blocks. Unless you like really invalidate them. Like, yeah, you can go back 2 years and find an order block, and it might not likely, you know, happen again and again. But you know, a lot of the time, order blocks which don't necessarily always happen. Like here, for example, this order block printed around here, it's still valid. You know, when was this printed? You know, 12th of May till about now. It's still valid. You know, month and whenever, month and a half-ish actually. Yeah, month and a half, or month and 12 days, whatever. Still valid now. Really well valid actually. You can see we're bouncing properly. But anyway, like I said, I do think we come down a bit more. Yeah, I mean, this chart doesn't really say much. I haven't really updated this chart in a while because I wanted to kind of get a fresh chart so I can actually show what I want to show properly. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this. I've said my piece on Bitcoin. I'm going to move a bit swifter now onto Ethereum and Solana. I'm excited to see Solana actually. I don't really know what it's done. So last time we looked at this chart, really nicely bouncing off this order block as well. It was, I think, Monday. So we were down here, I think, actually. Yeah, so we've come up a fair bit, which makes sense. I mean, looking at the position our things were at 9 o'clock, we start to come up. Money flow, VWAP, yeah, everything was coming up anyway. This no brainer. We really just came properly. What else? We've kind of come up. This is the 1 hour, but momentum's really. This is all kind of coinciding. Really, really nicely respecting this order block. This order block's been really nice. Yeah, still an order block. That's good. So nicely respecting the order block, bouncing off it properly. Currently, right now, having difficulty. We are overbought on the RSI. VWAP's been coming down for a while. Momentum's coming down. Money flow is actually starting to probably arc now. So I think there's coming down time now for Ethereum. As I do think with Bitcoin as well. Over the next 8 hours, I think we come down if we do print below. This is the 1 hour, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think there's more than enough potential to come down. There's this midline though. We see we bounced out, but I do think we probably come down anyway. This is like really proper, sell right now type of thing for everything for Ethereum. So I think this is like a chart pattern. I don't really know if it's like a flag or anything. I don't really think so. Is this a flag? It's kind of like this range. I don't know if there's like some sort of expanding triangle thing. Coming from a point of there. I don't think this is. This might be expanding triangle. Not really. If you shimmy it across, it's technically a wedge. So, technically this is a bearish pattern, I believe. Yeah, bearish rising wedge. You can see coming up, boom, boom, continuing to come up, producing higher highs and higher lows. It's not as good as a gradient over here, but regardless, it still follows through. This is generally just a movement downwards. So we could bounce a couple times more. Again, if you go to the 4 hour though, you can't really see much. However, again on the 1 hour, so you can see money flow still coming up, momentum still coming up, VWAP starting to arc, which is good. So what I see as potential is we are kind of going to falter within or hover within this range. VWAP's going to kind of do its thing coming downwards. This is going to start to arc, within wherever it's going to go. Money flow will start to do its thing, but we're potentially, depending on what happens within the next print and whatnot, VWAP will start to come down. Planting the seeds of negativity, whatever. Momentum's going to start to kind of arc and do its thing. So I do think we have the potential. But again, on the 1 hour anyway, it's completely like sell right now. RSI completely overbought. Momentum is above the 60 mark coming down. Money flows neutral, probably starts to arc. VWAP's been coming down the entire time since 12 p.m. today. So I think it's a sell position right now, or a sell opportunity for Ethereum. In terms of where it's going to come down to, well, obviously you've got this line. I don't really think there's a flag type of thing going on with this, so I think this line will probably see some sort of support at. I don't really see any order blocks or anything consistent. There might be a trend line here, which we've kind of come far away from, so there's potential over coming hours that we maybe come towards 3,400. There's potential, maybe. If I draw a rectangle, you can see this is kind of a range we had. There's potential to come down towards here. Maybe 1.5% for Ethereum. Coming down again, like I said, with what I think with Bitcoin, on the 4 hour anyway, I think it's going to come down if we do print within this pennant, which I'd rather print within this pennant. Number one, because it would allow us to go towards 56.5 in theory if it falls through, and number two, it would mean we'd print lower faster, which I think would give us enough time to come down to our lower prices where we can buy more before we start to really come into our bullish movement into next month with all the bullish news. It'd be funny if we come up now and then coming into July we come down and we don't actually do anything bullish, which would be a complete opposite shame for the market. But again, like I said, with what the news is saying right now and the potential for July and going into August, I do think we do it anyway. So what happened here? So we had this line which we've had for a while, this above point here, a good support point. Obviously, you can see we surged above it and then used it as support. Obviously, kind of faltered, and then a really big pump here as we came up. I mean, yeah, the difference between these and here was you can see how VWAP really reacted. And this, only happened, and this is what's great about the VWAP in terms of its planting seeds. This area of VWAP movement upwards, you can see it never really moved up too crazy. It was all down here. And these had big movements upwards anyways, boom, boom, boom here. But this one was different. It came above here, which was when we had this green wick. And again, even from here, none of this area here was anything out of the ordinary. However, our VWAP was telling us we're really coming up right now, which really did plant the seed for positivity to bring us upwards, which is great. And obviously we had this really big candle here. So, the RSI did differentiate these lines. However, also you can see this top line, which we had for a while now, or it seemed like it as well. It's got, I don't know what was in this line. We had this range. It's a trash range actually. But yeah, we've kind of just been coming up the steps of these lines anyway. Stuck in this range, obviously kind of coming down, obviously surged upwards. I don't know if this is some sort of expanding, chart pattern. It could be something, if we draw it down. I mean, it's technically a bear flag, or bull flag, sorry. I mean, yeah, no surprise here. It just looks like a traditional bull flag to me. If we draw from where we came from, and draw from here, you can see, basically from where we came from, this top line here. Let me just delete it all so we don't have to look at it. You can see at the top line, we've come to it already. We've bounced off. So 150.5 was where the top line of this flag was. And we came to it and we've obviously come down. Obviously, in lower time frames, you probably see exactly, look at that, how accurate that is. Exactly printing at this top line and producing an order block at this line, which is really nice. So, just a normal bear flag, or bull flag, sorry. What's happened, obviously, we printed this order block. Let me add that line back, actually. So printing this order block on the 30-minute anyway, and obviously bouncing off the bottom line, which has been here probably for a while. You can see, bounce. A really interesting line because a position over here where, we've come back up to it, and then we had this huge movement. So the response of bouncing off this line has really brought us down. 800-day EMA. Oh, yeah, wait. Oh, you said look at bit. Okay. After this, I'll look at the weekly Bitcoin chart. I read your message and I completely forgot about it. Oh, yeah, my fault. I'll move the logo. I should put it like over here. It's Solana. The price should be on screen hopefully as well. There you go. It's just this one here, 30-minute. I mean, again, if you're doing Solana USDT, it doesn't really matter what thing you're on, but it is Solana. Okay, but anyway, like I said, so the response from this line, let me go back to it. Where were we? Where were we? Am I stupid? I think we're talking about, oh no, this line, here it was, yeah. So, interesting though, this line, obviously, previously, we had really good support. And again, a similar situation here actually. The response from bouncing off this line, especially from here, obviously we had a little bit of it was one of these ones where we had this come back to support point, and this one. Sol BTC, I'll have a look in a minute. I'll add it to the list though. We do have Margo and TARS protocol, so I'll add it after this, or after them, sorry. I'll look at them in a minute. But like I said, this is you see this a lot actually when you break above or below trend lines, or you come to a trend line. This is we see this as well with chart patterns. I talk about this quite often actually. If you've got like a bull pennant and you're coming up, a lot of the time, and we did this with Bitcoin actually, and we're doing this with Bitcoin. When you surge upwards, you follow through with your chart pattern. You actually I see more often than not, you come back to the top line, and then you absolutely just surge. Or do your movement. So I see this quite often actually. Like I said, so I mean, even right here, we did this. We were kind of used at support, and then came below, and then did our bounce, and then we came all the way down to the next support point, or support point, and then we did the inverse. So this is an interesting line. This is what stopped us. We had this really big move downwards, but this is what stopped us, and then we had a bit of an arc. Whoops. There we go. And then we came back to it, and then the response from bouncing off this line was this big old movement, and obviously we used it support. Fell through, unfortunately. But again, similar situation. Obviously had this bounce, but then the response from bouncing off this line was this big old movement. So I think this is a really strong position. I'm glad we surged above this. So I think we're kind of doing this. You can see bounce kind of doing this now. However, I think we're getting a bit stuck right now below this order block. But there's potential for a bull pennant. after the bear flag, or the bull flag, sorry, there's potential for the pennant to break us to 160. And bearing this in mind as well, it's like, every coin has its own situation in the market, and it moves, within itself. And I do think Solana is starting to do more and more of its own thing, especially with, Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're kind of doing similar things. Bitcoin's obviously in a bit of a trap right now, and it's a bit stuck. But, you can see as well, like, on the 30-minute as well, like, even going to the 1 hour probably, yeah. Really, really, like, completely overbought. Money flow coming down, fiat coming down. But again, directional, what do I always say? Market Cypher, directional tool. Supports and patterns and whatnot are positional tools. So, again, the most oversold you've ever seen in your life for, Solana. We haven't really seen this since 16th of June. Come back to it. Where did we come to? Only really this bottom line. And again, this bottom line was a huge support point anyway, or resistance point, support point. We also actually printed our own, mini little order block here as well on the 30-minute, which we are also using. If I zoom this up, see, using it as well here. So we're kind of stuck in this little range in between, 147.5 and 149. But again, like I said, I think if I delete this because I don't really care about it, if we follow through with this, if we shimmy along, coming towards maybe midnight, coming to Friday, basically, we'd stay where the midpoint of this order block is, and we'd meet the bottom line, and then have potential to come upwards a really big amount. And like I said already, Solana, it's each coin is its own, but I think Ethereum and Solana and Bitcoin and some other coins, they're all respecting the same methodology in the market. However, I think Solana is definitely doing its own thing. You can see this from, Bitcoin's not doing anything. Ethereum, it has been coming up, but this is 10% up. It's crazy, especially over 7 hours, whatever it is. So I do think there is, although the market is negative and has potential for big negativity, I do think there is this potential here, and especially seeing as though I think it was 6 p.m. USD +2 Friday was when I think things start to fall. So I think there's still time for Solana to do this. So there's potential for a really big movement up for Solana. However, I think if we move down towards $147 and do our thing, I think this will allow Market Cypher to cool off and just chill out, and then allow us to move up again if we follow through with this chop pattern, that is. Obviously, as it goes along. But again, as well, I think what happens is, we've bounced off, we performed the order block, came down, bounced off the midpoint, came down. I think next is what we bounce off the bottom line of the order block, and then hopefully we surge, come back to test, and then come upwards. But again, this is more of a directional, pattern. It's a chart pattern. It's directional, so we could get invalidated, or we could stop out at this order block and not really move upwards. So that is also something to be careful about. But again, even on the 4 hour, we are overbought on the RSI. However, money flow is still coming up. We've only really just about crossed the 60 mark for the 4 hour. And if we go to the daily as well, we're nowhere near anything. I mean, most things on the daily anyway, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything is in unison, where, VWAP's really coming up, money flow is really coming up, momentum's coming up. We're nowhere near being, overbought or anything. So I do think there's potential to come up towards 160. And yeah, kind of be in a range there. You can see there's kind of an order block here within these two lines, which would actually bring us pretty much directly to this midpoint. So I think that's kind of what happens, probably printing out below there, about $157 or $158. Obviously, probably using 155 as support. But I do think coming into Friday, so I think we print out roughly within, where we are right now, and then we come upwards within tomorrow. Yeah, 7.8 within a day. There's potential for it. I definitely don't want to write it off or anything, especially since even though today we had, 8.5, some other days, 5, this was 6. So I think there's potential for 7.5% move of Solana, especially since what we're looking at with Market Cypher. And in terms of, this is a daily order block, there's nothing really in between there and now in terms of the daily, which is really stopping us apart from $155. So I think there's potential. I definitely think within tomorrow there's potential to go to $160. Not financial advice, although not financial advice at all. So now I'm going to move on, though. I will move on. I will add this, though, to the chart, just in case. There we go. Add that there. Probably support being... oops. I've shimmied it by accident. I probably want support being somewhere like there, where this point is, about 142. Then there's 7.8% potential move up. Pretty good. Obviously, different percentages down here, depending on what you want to do. But I think we generally come up. Again, Solana's been doing different things. Again, this is, over the last, 15% over the last 4 days, Bitcoin's not been doing that. Obviously, had the order block. Ethereum, what was Ethereum again? I don't know if Ethereum's doing that, that crazy. Again, even on daily, we haven't been doing that. This is closer to what Bitcoin's been doing than Solana. And over the, even though most things in the market have been doing pretty meh, Solana's obviously other things have been doing good as well. But Solana, case in point of coins being able to do their own thing without it necessarily following the market always. This since the 24th of June has been coming up and has a lot of potential to move up. So I do think, regardless of what the market's doing right now, I do still think there is potential to come upwards towards $160, nearly 8% up. I don't think that's out of character for what's going on for Solana, especially since they've been going up every single time. Even since we printed and the money flow started to arc, it's really, this is a really, really good situation for Market Cypher. If we had nothing on this chart right now, I can go to a random Solana. You could just trade based off Market Cypher. You can see, well, what's been coming up since the 18th of June. Market Cypher, the momentum arcs on the 22nd, money flow on the 23rd, and then we start to print. So if you longed when we arced at 23rd, if you longed 23rd, and you waited out, you'd be 15% richer. Obviously, if you were to follow this Market Cypher, and that's what I plan to do. I'm gonna plug my the series we are currently doing as I am. I'm recording probably today, tomorrow, uploading tomorrow. The next episode of our Market Cypher B series. If you don't have it, just say it in the chat. Obviously, go to the Telegram. There's links there. This is our crypto warehouse's reimagined version of Market Cypher B, and I'm making a series on our YouTube channel where I go over everything I know and how I use Market Cypher. So, this is something really nice. And like I said, I wouldn't advise using only Market Cypher or using only one tool. If it works for you, great. But I wouldn't advise for it. I wouldn't advise only using one tool to trade. But, in this scenario anyway, not in every scenario, this would be a good trade. I'd probably enter within the 23rd or the 24th. Probably 132. Knowing my luck, let's say even if it was $132.50, you'd still be up about 12% right now. Solely entering based on the fact that we're in a really good position for Market Cypher. But again, in an unfortunate scenario, and this is why I wouldn't follow Market Cypher wholly, is you need to be able to be wary of the fact that there are, fake outs in terms of the momentum, the money flow and everything. So, there are moments where this can happen. So yeah, I'll just be careful. But anyway, let's move on now. Tariq, hello. So glad you can join us on the stream. We've got good viewership. Hello, everyone. Obviously, I'm going to reiterate this actually again. I think there's a good amount of people. I've had a good gap in between. If you've got any coins you want to cover, just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat and I will cover them. I do have coins I'm already covering though on the our chart. What do we have actually? We have Tars Protocol, Marga, and Sol BTC in a minute. Obviously, I'll add the Bitcoin weekly. Oh no, it was a monthly chart. I think it was a monthly chart actually. I will do that right now, really quickly, before we move on to the other coins. I think I saw something then. Someone said beginner's guide. Well, if you go to our YouTube, I am uploading. Obviously, we've only really just started doing it, so we don't have a lot of content there right now. But I am making videos on the way I trade. Obviously, not saying my way of trading is the best or the worst. Obviously, different strategies work for different people. But I kind of go over how I look at things as we progress. Obviously, not everything's done right now. But yeah, this is a perfect example. This is why I wouldn't use Market Cypher wholly. Is the fact that we're having difficulty at this top line and we hadn't printed above it, I wouldn't have taken this trade exactly. But what's nice to see is this order block formed, and then we kind of had difficulty obviously bouncing off it in this area, coming upwards, and then bouncing off it here. But what was nice is the fact that we formed a breaker block and never came to test back, so we can just come up really easily. So if we print within next 4 hours above this, I'd see us having a really good continuation. But we are bouncing off $151. But like I said, $160 is where I aim to be, and as long as we print above $145, I think that is more than enough in terms of our potential. Casa MKR Ondo, I will look. Actually, we've looked at Ondo a bit ago. I think we had some good trades on there. Funny enough as well, I actually traded cash last night, got a pretty good trade. I think I did like a short. We're in a good range. I'll show you my chart actually. I drew some charts last night, longed just before I went to bed. And then I think we had a really good chart pattern on, I can't remember if it's the daily or the 4 hour. I'll look at that in a minute. But first things first, I'm looking at the Bitcoin monthly. And we have looked at this before. I think it's monthly. Let me scroll up actually. Weekly. Yeah, we know, again, we're still in our range. I'm not going to hold on to this too long, though. Yeah, we're still in our potential range. Now, this is what concerned me, though, is the potential that 58.5 was where we bounced off because of what we have going on here with everything. But, you know, I still hold on to, on the lower time frames, us having 56.5. Yeah, the weeklies, it's looking good. I mean, especially seeing as though we do have this bull flag. I think in general, I mean, even this, we've got, I mean, over the weekly anyway, you know, VWAP's been coming down for a bit now. We've got bearish we've got bearish divergence, basically overbought, a high point on this red here, a resistance point, money flow's coming down, everything's coming down. So even on the weekly, yeah, very, very, very negative coming into it. So that's why I'm still confident in the fact that we have potential to come down. On the daily, though, again, like I said, it's looking positive. So, I mean, how are we doing right now, actually? Let me just check. Yeah, what are we doing? You see, we've bounced. We have bounced, number 1, off the bottom of this order block. Number 2, below this line. So, within 10 minutes, we print below here. Looking pretty good. GTO, I'll look at GTO. So, I think we're in the runnings for us to dump by Friday and continue onwards. You know, doing our thing, I suppose. You know, I mean, yeah, this weekly, obviously, you have to pay attention to the news and everything else in the market, you know, macro level type of data for the market. So you can't, again, always, like I say, not solely look at market stuff or anything, but if you sort of, you know, pay attention to market stuff pretty strongly, you know, pretty negative, even though what's going on with everything news. I mean, to be fair, though, with what's going on with the ETFs, obviously it's not going to be a direct or was it the paper? Something about the paper. Obviously, it's not going to be a direct price action based movement upwards. And I talked about this when the Ethereum ETF whole, you know, debacle was going on. It was a displacement of the price. So I think that is also going to happen. So regardless of what's going on in the market, I think it's a displacement. However, buy, rumor, sell, news, etc., etc. You know, I think it's a bullish thing, though, to be fair. So I don't really know if would sell on the news. I mean, yeah. I don't know, applicability of it, you know, if we're coming to the 1st of July and how I think it's going to be really a positive time going upwards towards, you know, the 22nd of July towards 70,500, would we sell the news or would we just keep on buying? So, yeah, I mean, I just hope we just do actually come down a bit more here. But I think there's potential. Number 1, the daily descending triangle. I've already talked about this. The bearish, the bear pennant, the bear rising wedge, the descending triangle. We've got about 3 chart patterns of negativity. We've got the order block. We've got the lower time frame market ciphers. There's a lot of potential for downwards movement for Bitcoin. And I'm still confident because I think Crypto Lifer and I know Mike was saying it, that we, you know, hopefully we come up soon. But I was confident. I stuck I stuck my feet. I put my heels in the ground. I did stick by my order block, saying if we don't go above 62.3 and we stay above there, we are not going anywhere. And what have we done? We haven't gone anywhere in the past 2. I think it was the start of the week, basically. I did my stream, and I think the same day he was basically like, I think we're going up soon. And Crypto Lifer the next day was also saying the same thing. But I still said, if we don't go above 62.3 and we print above the order block and we continue onwards, we are not going anywhere. And we haven't done anything because we are dinking our head off the order block 3 days in a row, and we're not going anywhere. Do you think it will continue the downtrend for the whole market until the end of the year? I don't think so. Obviously, if I go to the weekly, we'll show it. So, no, we're not doing too badly. Obviously, I assume you mean Bitcoin or the market. Oh, the whole market, right? Okay. So, what I'll do is I'll look at Bitcoin and kind of dissect the market based on that. So, we do have this. I believe this is a rising, whatever the hell. This is a chart. This is a bearish chart pattern, which isn't good. Bearish rising wedge, here it is. So we do have a bearish rising wedge potential. However, where's everything? Oh, I'm trying to analyze properly. I think we're going to break out of this. Okay, so I think we continue onwards. I don't think we're going to be that negative because we have this bull flag where we are right now. With this bull flag, and I think we continue upwards, onwards towards 88. So what I said, last stream before, I was basically talking about 70,500 by the 22nd to the 20th of July, and the 15th of August we could be towards 80,000 area up here when we break out of this bear flag, because this is a really good bull flag. This is a really good bull flag. I don't think we invalidate this. I think we respect this over the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour. We all have it. Monthly though, you can see really not good. So, if you were to just pay attention to the monthly, you'd see we're really not, doing well in terms of coming upwards and staying above areas. So I mean, do we invalidate this, or do we continue in this trend? Well, if you were to solely look at this kind of rising, what the hell this is called, rising wedge, right now you'd probably say, okay, we should be bouncing, coming towards 49,000. If we were to come down right now towards 42,000, 40,000, I don't think that's going to happen though, necessarily. I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously that's my opinion though, because obviously we have midpoints, as we will talk about in ranges. You can have midpoints, especially here. You can see bounce here, probably only coming towards 50,000 if anything. Obviously I know some people talking about 52k, still possible, but we didn't. We had a double top here actually, but we haven't really followed through with it yet. Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult thing, but we do have this bull flag, so I'm hoping this bull flag invalidates this, and then we come up towards 88, come back down towards 73, bounce off it, and then obviously the sky's the limit. Then we'll all be millionaires, and then we don't need to think about this anymore. So what I'll say is, I don't think we continue this necessarily. If everything goes as planned, ceteris paribus, all things being equal, we continue with this pattern, and we continue with these indications that we should be going up, and the bullish news as we proceed into the coming months. I think we kind of break above these levels and come upwards towards 80,000, 88,000, and kind of stay out of this range. I mean, I'm trying my hardest to try and find some sort of pattern which could back this up on the weekly, but there's not really anything. But anyway, I've looked at the monthly chart, looked at the weekly chart. I'm going to move on now though to the next things on our list, which is TARS protocol. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So is this on TradingView? Yes. Okay. So look at this one. All right. So not a lot of data, which is fine, and not a lot of data. So where we are right now, we're at 20 cents roughly. We seem to have a rough order block. I wouldn't hold on to too much of this. This is not bad. Again, just something to pay attention to. The more uniform the order block, or the more uniform the candles, the better the order block. But still, I still draw them just in case there is a respect of them. However, I do want to go back because it seems like I've got some really nice order block going on here. Boom. Yeah, this is a nice order block, I'd say. And then we're actually below this right now of resistance. It's a rough one because we are slightly going above these levels as we go along. Actually, how much data is there on the 4 hour? Okay, there's not much. So we're on a good uptrend though. But a really good uptrend. Oh, okay, interesting. Very, very interesting here. Uptrend. Okay, this is interesting. Really, really interesting. Daily. What have I talked about already in the stream? Bounce, bounce. Bounce, bounce. Lower bounce because we found some sort of resistance. What's happened? What's happening? That's that. However, obviously, momentum is coming upwards. However, we are overbought on the RSI, pretty overbought actually. Momentum is not really anywhere. We don't have enough data for the money flow, so I'm actually go lower time frames now though. Completely overbought RSI. Momentum's overbought. However, VWAP hasn't really been coming down too much. Money flow's still coming in, so there's still bullishness on the 4 hour, especially I think on the 1 hour as well. Still bullish. However, we've basically been coming down since 26th of June. Obviously had a bit of hoverage up here. We've been overbought the entire time. We've had a bunch of bearish divergence. A local top here, you can see which actually printed where this order block was. Obviously, we've come up above that now, though, as we come along. But we do have this higher time frame order block where we are right now, about 20 cents, 21 cents for TARS. Obviously, I'm going to go back one more time, though, just see any other consistency points. A similar situation actually here. I think. Shimmy this. It's not as accurate. You can see we're kind of not really expecting it. We see bounce on bounce, good bounce here, bouncing off it here, or wick to it here. So you can see we kind of had this pennant going on, but it wasn't really a pennant. It was kind of just a downtrend and an uptrend going on. But we've broken out and we've come back up to bounce. So what I think could happen is we come down, especially as soon as if you look at what's going on, and on the flip side, of things, there's one way of looking at Mark Cypher where it's okay, it's a directional, not positional. So you say, okay, well, we'll get stopped at order blocks and support and resistance points. However, it is a directional tool, so when there's not a lot of support, you can just move down a lot. There's a lot of more of change. So let's say your range is 11%. The way Mark Cypher is going to move towards neutral is going to be 11%. But let's say these order blocks, I'm not really too confident in these order blocks anyway, but let's say your range comes down towards the bottom of the range. Let's say it's 1 cent or 10 cents, sorry. Then your Mark Cypher can account for 50%. So the faster, this is going to move faster in relation to Mark Cypher. So let me shimmy that across. So this is a good, really low support point, really, really low point here. However, there are different points, matching up, especially here, this kind of range in this general area, which actually, if we shimmy this across, is basically there. So this is a decent support point, I'd say. That is a decent support point. If we shimmy this across, you can see, support, resistance. This is probably a good support point as well, as we come along. So we do have different, we do have certain areas, as we cascade downwards of support, even here, support there. Here as well, support here. So we have different levels as we continue along. You can see we have got this level, this level, this level, this level, this level. So there's different areas for ourselves to hit before we really properly come down. So there's probably somewhere within this range. I don't think we come down all the way to 10 cent. I think that's a bit extreme. But there are different areas. I just want to point out there are different areas where we could see potential. So I think 15 cents can be a really good price point. So I think what could happen is we come towards maybe 15 cent over the coming, maybe towards Sunday. Especially if Bitcoin's doing its thing. But again, this isn't, this is only on a few exchanges. This has been going up since. Similar to Solana, this has been going up since 25th of June. So this is doing its own thing as well. However, I think this situationally wise, we are stuck below this kind of order block. You can see right now even we've printed, but we're still below this order block. Obviously, probably shimmying. So I think we're probably going to be bouncing off this trend and coming down a significant amount. Even if we go back to the daily, though, I think this is a really big situation downwards for TARS. So I think I would short maybe. Not financial advice again, as I always say. I would short. Especially here. This is another thing, as I just talked about. Remember on Solana what we talked about? When you come to a resistance point and you bounce off it, I think I don't know how true this is. This is kind of my thing. I haven't really read this anywhere. I just do this. I don't know how applicable this is. I don't know if this is something which is wrong, but I like to try and look at, the response to bouncing off a certain price point. This probably isn't something crazy. There's probably a term for this. I don't know what the term is. I haven't looked it up, but it's just something I like to do. So you can kind of see, we bounced off this, coming down here, bouncing on our range. We bounced off 21 cent, basically. And the response to this was we came down all the way towards 10 cent. If we come back to this price point, we could come back down over the daily anyway, over a longer period of time, we could come back towards 10 cent. Could. How long this took? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This took 8 days. It took a week, basically. So you can see, oh, interesting. Okay. Could be printing a bullish order block. on this. There's potential, but if let's theorize here. What happens when you print an order block and these sorts of things? Well, this is really good actually. This is really, really good. Who asked? Is Rez? Did you ask for this? I'll pay attention to this. I don't know where my scroll bar is. Yeah. Okay. So pay attention to this. This is actually really, really important. What happens with order blocks, right? What happens with order blocks, and especially breaker blocks? Okay. Yeah. There you go. Perfect. So. I mean, I'm not like some amazing teacher, but I just thought this is something to try, and I think this is really good to back up what I'm trying to say. My goal with when people ask me or when I ask for charts and people give me coins, my kind of aim is to try and give as much as possible as backup for what I'm trying to argue. So, my backup for this, and I think this is a good backup. This is weekly. This is strong. All right. If we print in this area, because again, and this is another point as well. Order blocks don't necessarily have to be exactly one-to-one in terms of their height. And obviously, I'll get into this deeper when I do my order block series or order block video in my general series when I try and do some educational videos, or try to anyway. This could print a bit lower. Let's say it prints here. Let's just say it prints at 20. All right. This would go to... We normally come back to test the midpoint. Now, this doesn't necessarily always have to happen. But for breaker blocks, it does. But for order blocks, when you print them, not necessarily all the time. But what normally happens is you do. So this is a backup, all right? We have a midpoint of 15,477. And this is a weekly order block. So if we go back to the 4 hour now and look a bit deeper. I mean, we're coming down right now even. Deeper on this order block. But anyway, this line meets at 15,477, right? This is really near the bottom area, okay? You can see, I mean, this general range I drew was just a general support point. Boom, bounce there, surge, bounce there. This meets at about 15,577. So my backup is, I think we come to 15 and a half. I would short for 15 to 15 and a half cent. That's what I would do, not financial advice. However, this coin hasn't, I don't think it's been out for that long. So, and I always have to say this, I always try to say this. Whenever the coin hasn't been out for that long, always have to be careful. That things can be invalidated, things can be changed, things can be really let me show me this. There we go. Things can be invalidated quite easily on lower on coins which hadn't been out for a long time, which can be influenced easier. And I don't know what the market cap of this coin is, or how influenced how easily influenced the coin is, whatever you want to say. But anyway, so I would put my stop loss about the top of these areas, maybe the top of this order block, above this range. I'd be careful of wicking to these points though, so I probably want to put it a bit higher. Again, risk reward ratio isn't that high. However, a 23% potential move down for TARS. And I don't want to be wrong here. However, I do think we are doing this. Now, if we go back to the day there as well, I do think we are, boom, 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 boom. I think we are bouncing. I think we are, because, okay, what happens? What are the three things you can do in the market? You're in an uptrend, you are accumulating, or you're crabbing, you're in a range of a support and resistance, or you're in a downtrend. So there's two options here, both leading to boy 8. That's really good actually. I mean, if you still have it, I'd actually get out. Not financial advice. But you can see like where we are right now. We're at 28 right now. The highest we got was about 28, but we're basically, in terms of what the candle body is, the highest we reached for the candle body was about 23. So, considering, I mean, 8 cents a really good buy. That's crazy, actually. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good return. I mean, I'd probably invert myself right now and probably come down to sell. Or, obviously, I don't know if you can, leverage trade this or futures this. If you can't, obviously, then I'll just wait out to buy again at about 15 cents. But, like I said, what happens, when you break out of a bull trend, which we have done, what happens when you break out? Well, you either come into a support and resistance range where you kind of crab, or you're now in a bear range, or a downtrend, whatever. So, that either means, number one, we kind of do this. Let me get this. You can probably attribute this, boom, bounce. If we follow through this on the daily, technically we can come down towards 7 cents. Technically we could. But in terms of the shorter term, over, you know, the next, maybe towards the start of next week, I think we come down progressively towards about 15.5 cents, where I would, you know, get out. But, you know, again, we don't necessarily have to stop there, especially now if we're in a downtrend. You can see this trend here, you know, uptrend. If I draw this trend line, uptrend, expanding, whatever the hell, we've bounced out. This is actually a chart pattern. This is an expanding, bearish expanding triangle. You know, if you're moving bullishly, but it's expanding as we have been doing here, as you can see. I draw this properly. You can see, you know, as we progress through this, you can see as we bounce, we are getting thicker and thicker until we've broken out. So I think we've broken out of this, you know, bearish expanding triangle, whatever. I think we're bouncing off the top end of the things now. Oops. I think we are now going to be in a downtrend. The downtrend, obviously, the top of it being roughly, wicking wise, being about 21.5 cents. But I think, you know, seeing as though we're at the top end of things now, I think we're going to be starting to move down, maybe arcing. So best I'd do right now is put your stop loss a bit above this range, and then wait it out. So like I said, over the daily, you know, this could take, you know, 8 days, let's say. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, you know, Friday next week, we could be towards about 7 cents. We could be, not financial advice. But, you know, if we are on this downtrend, you know, if we are on this downtrend, it would make sense that we should come down towards there. So, you know, wait it out, see what happens. But for all I know as of now, I think we're going to move him down to TARS. Again, you know, just be careful though, because I don't know what the market cap of this coin is. I don't know how easily influence this coin is. I don't know how easy it is going to be breaking out of ranges and chart patterns. So there's always not financial advice. I've spent how much time? I will probably stream for an hour and a half, so we've still got about 20 minutes. So I still have enough time for all these coins. I'm going to move on now to Marga. I don't know what TA I did. I don't know if we're right. I think I said, yeah, Marga Red Hat. Yeah. I don't know what I said last time. Hope I'm right. Not USDT. It's Ethereum. There it is. 26th of June. Wednesday. Monday. When did I draw this TA? This is all within 26th of June. I didn't stream yesterday. When did I draw this? Did I don't know what's going on. 5th of June. Oh, I know what. I did external TA, didn't I? I drew outside of the... Actually, okay, let me go on Telegram. Yeah, I remember this. Quite right, perfect. That's what I like to hear. Oh, you know, I find it funny, and I also find it, you know, I don't want to get things right. I don't want to give the wrong advice. Obviously, it's not financial advice, but I don't want to give the wrong opinion on something. But, you know, again, no one's ever 100% right. It is hard to do that. But let me go check what I actually sent you. I think I did Marga. I remember we were talking, and you I think I did it. I can't remember. I think I did. Otherwise, I don't know why I would have this. I don't know why I'd have this chart. Yeah, I did. Here we go. Oh, okay. How well did we do? 3. Okay. So it's 3. So 3.39. So we were here, and then we came down, but we didn't come down to here, and then we came down to here, and we came up. So we didn't actually come down there. So what happened? So boom, boom, boom. So we came below the neckline. Okay, good. So, all right. So we came below neckline. What did I say? So 3054. So I reckon we used 3054 support. We came to 3231. So we didn't actually come down today, which is unfortunate. So that's pretty bad. And then what else did I say? Although we should have invalid it, I think it's bare fans. Oh yeah, that's on what time frame is that? Although we should invalidate, I think it's bear flag for a long time on the 4 hour. I think it should be invalid. Oh yeah, so I had this this flag, didn't I? Let me shimmy this across actually. So I don't know if I actually don't know if the TO went right. Well, I mean, it was all right. Yeah, not 555 exactly. We didn't actually come down to the old block. I'm sorry. We didn't actually come down to 3054. So that's a shame. Let me scroll out a bit. There we go. So yeah, so we surpassed the neckline of the head and shoulders. You can see neckline surpassed down. So this neckline, so it must have already happened over this 5% move down. So we didn't move as low as 3-1, whatever this line I drew at. So it stopped its head and shoulders at about 3302 instead, which is a shame. And then we kind of used that support, and then we went below there and then inverted. This is actually really good. So we're in the range, printed below the lowest point of liquidity. If you use that sort of TA, we printed below, and then we reversed, coming up to the top of this order block, and then we printed another order block here actually, and then used the bottom of the line, which is good. But now it looks like we're starting to use the top of the line as TA, which is good because that makes sense because like I said on the Telegram anyway, we should have invalidated it because we broke out, and which is always a $154 million market. That's pretty good actually. That is a good scenario for market cap to be in. But as I always say as well, lower cap markets can break out of trends easier. So what's happened? So we had the old block, and then we used it, and then we came back up. But obviously this turned to a breaker block. We never came out to test it. Came back down really easily. Now it's going to be resistance again. We are currently obviously bouncing off of the top of this line, basically coming up, seeing difficulty at 3766. So we've got really good. Anyway, we've got really good support at about this range within 3738 towards 3766. Trying to see if there's any sort of other trend lines I can see, which I don't really think there is. Boom, boom, boom. And it's kind of like a line here, which we had, bounce by bounce, came up. Okay, so there's potential for us to have a bit of some other movements. You can see, bounce, bounce, bounce. We had a good trend line, and then we broke below it, and then we could come back to it. If we come back to it, we might come down a bit lower. There's potential here. There's actually potential. So you can see, bang, bang. If we come up, okay, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Potential to come down from this neckline, which we roughly have here. So there's potential for a head and shoulders to print again, and come down. I mean, considering where we are, we're above this range. We were in this range for some time actually. Obviously, this is 15 minutes. So we're in this range for basically the entire day, or this upper point range anyway, of difficulty. Obviously, we had this order block. There's so many order blocks on this chart. Order block, which we use pretty well. I'm going to delete it. There's too many order blocks. I can't keep track of all these order blocks. But you can see there's potential. There's big potential for a head and shoulders here. Boom, boom, boom. Coming below this neckline, about here. So at least lower than 3679. Maybe coming towards maybe the bottom of the order block. But again, this midpoint is going to be good anyway. So I'd probably say 3513. So what I would do, not financial advice, is maybe long up towards the top, maybe 3950. That would probably, if it would be anything, would be a wick. However, I think best you'd get is probably 390 or 3850. Something in this range. Obviously, bouncing off the midpoint is more potential there. But if we do come to redraw this, if we do this, bounce, bounce, and then we come back up to here, that would be a good shoulder, equal shoulders, and then we'd probably come down towards. I'd probably estimate, because the movement between the neckline and here is how much? It's like 1.3%. It's really trash. So it could be 4.5, max 4.5% move down. But I think we go up though. I do think we come upwards, as we are doing anyway, towards this top line. So about 3% daily though. Well, actually, there is enough data. Need to delete some of these lines. That's trash. It's very messy. Okay, let me delete some of these lines. These lines are trash. There's so much going on. Try and look now. I wouldn't want to see like an M pattern. Oh wait, actually, I mean, it kind of looks like a double bottom. You see, like bang, 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 surpassing, coming up. I think it comes up to at least the top, like on like just a double bottom. I think it comes up to like at least like the neckline at least. So like, you know, top line, boom, neckline, boom, come up. So if we go back to it, you know, neckline, boom, boom, coming up now. So I think it'll probably come back up. I mean, hey, that's a really high number, especially since the hype of this was when it came out. I don't know when it came out, but I mean, I mean, this one, in this scenario, you can see, you know, neckline, boom. This is pretty much the exact same scenario where, you know, really big move downwards. Neckline, bounce, and it came right back up to the previous point. If we look for another example, same scenario, you know, come down, bounce, comes up to the same scenario. Here, same scenario. Neckline, boom, boom. Okay, so confirmation would be surpassing the neckline, which we've already done. So technically, we're you know, coming up probably progressively. So if I get the length of days it took to come down till we bounce was about 12 days. So shimmying along from you know. So I'll probably say about here. So you could see this sort of movement, you know, coming up towards maybe the 1st of July, start of next month-ish time. You could see this double bottom play through coming up towards the higher end of this. I don't think we've fully come all the way through it, but yeah, most of these, you know, double bottoms, you can see bounce coming upwards. It normally comes here, expected price move from the neckline to the previous top point. So the previous top point would be about there at 5565. So, you know, on the long term, over the next coming days, you know, there's potential, a really, really good potential for about 49% profit. In terms of stop loss, where would I put the stop loss? Well, I'd probably put it towards some sort of midpoint, maybe towards this order block, maybe towards the neckline. Yeah, resistance level. So maybe just below the neckline, if I had to put anything. We can see we bounced off this bottom line. So maybe to the bottom of the order block. So it could be about, you still get about 2.3 risk to reward. But again, the percentage will be, it depends if you're leverage trading this and you get stopped out. It would obviously be below 21%. You'd have to do like, you know, maybe a 2x at most, if you didn't want to get stopped out like badly. But yeah, I mean, I think with a return like that coming over the next couple of days is really good. But I think going back to the 15-minute, in terms of where we're going right now, I think, you know, coming into tomorrow, basically 1 a.m. tomorrow, I think we do, we come up towards about 30, 39, and then we probably come back down again. But my concern is the fact that the neckline of this, here, and there's the midpoint of this order block, which we've already used really well. So I think I'd be conservative, if anything, and come to the neckline. So about 3629. So if you wanted to do something over, you know, the next coming, what would that be? About maybe 2 hours. If you wanted to trade over the next 2 hours, I'd probably long or wait. No, I'd rather short and know it's coming than long right now if it doesn't come. So if you're within the area of about 39 to 38.5, I would short. If I was to be conservative of it, short. Let's say you short from the midpoint, bring it to this midpoint, and then stop loss be about here. Let's say. So you get 2.3 again, really good. This wouldn't take too long to happen. You'd get about 6% return, which is good depending on what you do, on how much you put in. So I think this head and shoulders, if it does follow through, that's why I said I would wait to see if we do bounce off of 39 or 38.5. I'd probably say 39 and then continue. But you know, if we didn't, It's not really. It's quite messy. I might delete this chart and do it. Redo some things because it's really messy. But yeah, that's what I think. So, in terms of 15-minute time frame, we've got that sort of thing going on. Daily though, double bottom. So is it better to long if it falls to 36? I mean, yeah, that's another thing. That's true actually. If you didn't want to follow through with like this, if it falls towards about 36.5 from this trade, you could probably enter there. That would be a good position, especially seen as though if we look again, this midpoint is really here. We used it many times, like here, here, here. Also, we used obviously the top line of this. There's many different areas where we've used in this area this sort of from 36, 30 all the way towards about 37.68, which is where we are basically right now. So this general area between basically where we are right now and 36.30 is probably a good area to be buying at, because this is a generally good area of support. Again, obviously, if you look on the higher time frame, we have slipped below in these different areas, but as we continue from bouncing, we haven't really come below our previous lows. Low here, low here, low here, low here, low here. So I don't expect us to come anywhere near 3255 at the least. I don't see it, but again, I think our next low, would be about 3630, potentially 3511. Maybe you can see if you see the arc, if you try and envision the arc, it could be about lowest 3513. But again, like I said, DCA, I think 3630 is a good point to buy at. If you do wait for this, if this like I said, if this Head and Shoulders follows through, it would be a good place to buy at. But again, if it doesn't follow through, I don't know what it would do if it doesn't follow through, because this is a good support resistance point. But we'd have to surpass it at one point. So again, I DCA within the area we're in right now, and if it comes back down to 36.30, I'd probably get in then, and then wait it out over the next coming days. If this double, I mean, the double bottom is already happening. It's not like it's something which hasn't happened. It's not like we're currently at 30.5, derivatives of ascent, whatever this is. We've already surpassed the neckline, and we're already coming up. So I think we already know decently that we're coming up towards our top end, which should be roughly about 55.86. So yeah, I'd probably wait to 36.30. Obviously, but like I said, if it does come to 38, or if it does come to 39, 38.50, I'd short. If you can, I don't know if you can. I don't know if there's any future trading for this. I don't think there probably is. I don't really know where you'd do that. So I'd probably, if you had to buy, I wouldn't buy right now. I'd wait for it to come down, like you said, to 36.30-ish area, 36.50, and then buy then, and then just wait it out. But anyway, I'm going to move on now, though, because we have Sol Bitcoin pair, we have Cass, we have MKR, Ondo, and Jito to all do. So let's go pretty quickly, guys. So Sol Bitcoin pair. Let's have a look. I don't think I've ever really looked at the Sol Bitcoin pairs. I mean, hopefully I'm right. Again, not financial advice. I always say that pretty much after every single thing. I haven't looked at the Sol Bitcoin pair in AM ever, actually. I'd never really look at these. But I mean, again, like I said, it shouldn't really be anything different. So we kind of had, I'm trying to look for like a trend line. Maybe a bit of a dip there. You see, bounce. Did a bit of a dip, but we still bounced continuously. So we've got there. Got a really nice trend there, which we're actually possibly having difficulty at. So this is is this like a chart pattern or anything? Well, I don't think this is a descending triangle, but I definitely think it's somewhere we'd have difficulty at. If we look on the daily, the market cipher, overbought, sorry, on the RSI. VWAP's been coming up for a long time. This is the highest we've seen VWAP since, this position over here. Actually, let me think. This, I mean, we technically came down after this. But, if we do follow through this range, this has been a good range we've seen, bounce, 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 bounce. If we do come down, and follow through this, how much would that be down? You know, about 15.5%. But I do think there's potential. You know, we are at the neutral mark for the momentum. Money flow is near the neutral mark. We are overbought anyway, all things considered. Try to see if there's any some sort of like support points. There's always probably gonna be some sort of difficulty in different areas. You see here, like there's probably something here. You know, at 22419. But you know, we'd probably surpass that continuing through this trend. But again, this probably spans over into the next month. I don't know why I'm tripping up on this. The next month, if it's a sole Bitcoin pair, that means, you know, it's not like it's as one, obviously one goes up, it'd be, so if the sole pair is, if Solana's first and Bitcoin goes up, the ratio would bring us down, especially if but they're both going up, then it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't think I'm being stupid there. I think I'm thinking about that right. I mean, this makes sense though. If you think about the 22nd of, I mean, okay, how long does it take? This took 34 days. How long would it be? So 34 days would be the 31st of July. 22nd would be 25th. So as we get smaller, so I think, you know, I think as Bitcoin goes towards, you know, 70,500, as I do think, that goes up, and if Solana would also go up, but probably not as much as Bitcoin, as that is the driving force. Solana for Bitcoin, Solana for Bitcoin. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think this range makes sense, right? I think that makes sense. So I think that goes down. My brain's too small to figure that out. Yeah, it's late. My brain's too small for this. But I do think that makes sense. As it goes through this range, I think this makes sense. Yeah. I mean, because if Bitcoin's not doing anything right now and Solana's pumping, and it's been pumping since the 24th of June, as Solana's going up and Bitcoin's not really doing anything, because it's basically been crabbing for the past 3 days, but Solana's going up, this has gone up. So if Bitcoin's going up, what was Solana doing back in 22nd of May? I think, no, that makes sense, right? I'm doubting myself. But yeah, that makes sense. If Solana is what's driving this, and Bitcoin's not doing anything, the pair, this is getting the difference, which is why this is increasing. So I think it does go down as Bitcoin goes up, because you get less Bitcoin from Solana. So this would go down in the range towards the 22nd of July, as I think Bitcoin goes towards 70,500. And if this is the descending triangle, which it is, we'd probably break out on our third bounce, which is when Bitcoin goes towards 88,000 on the 15th of August, and we go down towards wherever. So yeah, potential. There's potential for it. You know, boom, bounce, bounce, breakout. You know, bounce, 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 boom, destroyed. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that. I'm moving on though. We've got cash to look at. However, cash shouldn't take too long because I've already looked at it. I did some trades. I think I've actually done 2 trades. I shorted. I found that we're in this pattern. I shorted. Yeah, I was actually up quite late, but I did short about 3 a.m. and we did follow through with that. And I've actually shorted again before the stream started. I don't know when I shorted though, so I might not be in profit right now because we haven't actually moved. Really. Let me check my trades. Yeah, I mean, CAS hasn't moved. I mean, like, it's 0.9% down, and that's a 10x. So you can see we haven't moved. Well, we're moving now. Obviously, we've got to wait. But I think we can see in between this area, it's been 0.2. We haven't moved yet, but you know, we still have potential to bounce. But I think we are on the upper end of our range. I mean, we haven't even followed through this range yet. And we've really been respecting this range. I think this is a general wick. You know, even here we wicked. I think this is the general wick. As long as we print. I mean, if in 27 minutes and 46 we're at 1826 and we print out, I'm getting out of the trade. I'm getting out of the trade. But you know, again, I think this is just a wick. You know, even here, for example, 18075, when we printed below the range, we wicked all the way towards 18248. So I think as long as we print in 27 minutes time below at 18055, I think we're going down towards probably about, I'm going to be conservative and say 17487. However, my stop loss, my stop loss, my own stop, my own take profit even is at 174,830. Which is actually the bottom of this range here. So I have a trade even right now in Casper of a short, which brings it towards about this bottom of this range. So 17,4830. So I think we're going down. In terms of the longer time frame of things, this is a bullish pattern. I think it's a bullish pattern. But bring it from here to here. So bounce, maybe one more time, bounce, boom. That brings us towards Saturday. Brings up, let's say, from here. That brings us towards about 19.7. So I think over, coming in towards midpoint of Saturday, we do come up. But I've just been trading this range, to be fair. But what I'd probably do, what could be advisable, maybe if you long, if it comes down the range, long at about 17,450, and then wait it out until 20 cents, when we could potentially pump, not financial advice. But to be fair, I mean, would we come up with that? Is there enough reason to come up there? I don't know. Let's see. I think we could fall short, to be fair. I think we fall short, even though it brings us that high. I wouldn't say so. I would be conservative and say 13 or 1940. So at 19 cent and 40 millicents, I would get out. So that could be a good trade even if you longed right now. Let's say that would be about 7% profit. So I do think we come down again. Go back to the 1 hour. I do think we're still in this range, which is our bull pennant, which is why we're going to go up in the first place. I think we come down again towards the bottom of here, which is what we need to do. Again, even if you look at Mark Safra right now, VOPS, it's starting to, it's iffy here and there, but it is coming down. And you can even, we saw this with Bitcoin when it's in its own pennant. We start to do something like this. We do this. So I think we do arc, and we're even arcing right now. So what I think happens, this is overbought. I think we arc pretty much very, very soon. Money flow probably starts to come down again. VOPS been coming down for a while. I think we come down for Casper. So if you want to get into something, if you want to do something right now, I'm doing something right now. I have it open. I'll show you. I want to hide names. I'm also in a Pepe trade. I don't know if you can see it on the stream though. You cannot see that on the stream. Hold on. This is not working, is it? There's no way I can do this. Hold on. There's got to be a way I can show this on the camera. I should have very close enough. Go further back. Put my arm like this. Oh, that's not gonna work. Just trust me. I'm in a trade. All right, I'm in a trade. So yeah, that's what I think. Let me scroll down. There we go. So yeah, that's what I think, Casper. I need to move on though. I mean, yeah, we can spend a bit longer. We've got 3 more. Let's do some speed. Have I looked at this before? I don't know. Okay, let's go on a high time frame thing. All right, let's do this pretty fast. Let's see how fast we can do this. All right, so shimmy along. I don't see many order blocks or anything. We've got that down there. Boom. All right, cool. What else have we got? We had a top line. I don't really think this is a chart pattern. But this would be a good support point. I'm going to remove this because there's literally no point because we're pretty high up right now. We have a good, we had a good trend line. We're probably out of this right now though. So if I shimmy that along, you see, trend line, formed this, had that big bounce response. And then obviously once we had that response, we knew that was a good resistance point. Boom, resistance. And then we basically had a crab, accumulation until the trend line met us again. Then we bounced. And then obviously we had this order block, which we had difficulty at, came up. We haven't come back to test it, so might still fall below it. However, we do have trend line which we haven't actually also come back down to. But again, we do have the support point, which we have now flipped and tested as support. If it goes to 1 hour, you probably see it a bit better. We also have a semi-decent order block here, potentially as a support point. I think this is a bullish chart pattern, so we'll probably come up towards 2736 about here. If I shimmy back, this is also a considerable line. Oh, let me just, there we go, shimmy this there. This is decent. I mean, you can see difficulty in this general area. There, we shimmy across. They're probably having difficulty about that point, which would give us about 4% move up. You can see as well, I mean, we are, considering the fact that we are pretty much overbought in every regard. Money flow, however, we have come down, but we're starting to do a bit of a flip. You know, you can see everything start to come up. So potential for an actual move up. It looks like we're breaking out right now, even. So potential for about 4% move up in the coming towards maybe 1 a.m. Friday, which is actually in like an hour, 2 hours and 30 minutes. I do want to do a longer time frame. I'm going to do a daily analysis though. I do want to give something a bit more substantial. Let me see the validity of this. It's a decent one. Like you see, bounce there, bounce there, bounce there, boom, come down. So yeah, I mean, I think it comes towards this point anyway. Oops. If I remove this line we have, please. There we go. So it comes towards 2740 anyway, 2745 anyway. So I think we generally just bounce in that area. You can see as well, really respecting this midpoint anyway, multiple times over. There's not really any more other blocks. I mean, there's this one kinda. It's not really very good. Here is not really very good. It's too much for me anyway. Anything on the weekly, just in case. There could be anything here. Potential actually on the weekly anyway to be having this go on. You can see there, boom. It brings us to about the top of this line here. So there's potential for, on the weekly anyway, for bullishness, which makes sense, as I do think with Bitcoin and probably Ethereum as we go into the next month, which is obviously be a couple of weeks worth of moving upwards. Especially since that since the 1st of April we've been coming down in this kind of falling wedge, whatever this is called, probably a falling wedge, right? I mean, could assume the name. Yeah, bullish falling wedge. Yeah, it's basically a bullish falling wedge. I actually don't know what the difference is pennant and falling wedges, but basically the same thing. But anyway, probably a bullish pattern here. Pretty steep, but bullish nonetheless. Bringing us back up towards this resistance point, which, depending on how we react off that price, okay, this is interesting. I'm going to pay attention to this neckline. We came towards this price point at 39.61, and then the reaction off that price was, multiple weeks of coming down. So if we come back up to it, and actually bounce off it again and come back down to this neckline, we definitely could see a double top for Maker to come even lower towards maybe 1500. But regardless from what I see on the weekly, there's potential to come up 50% towards this high range again. Again, if I go back to the 4 hour though, just to show everything, we do have this little pennant going on the 1 hour, which brings us towards basically 2750. Again, like a 4% profit, but daily regards anyway. We do have this pennant, which we're respecting. You see, bounce, 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 boom, boom, boom. I don't know if this is the breakout. I do think maybe there's a potential for one more move down, maybe wicking towards 2000, which is similar with how I think with Bitcoin anyway, as we do come down. So I think maybe wait out. Maybe okay, it could come up. I think we do come back down again though as we wick. Coming towards the 1st of July, probably bouncing, coming down towards 2237. If we go towards 2237, I'd probably buy about then and then wait it out until the middle of next month. So you can see we have another thing here, order block. So like I said, even if we come towards 2362, probably buy then. If you were to get in then, let's say, and wait it out if this pattern does follow through, which I think it will do, Obviously, stop loss being a bit below this trend line. If you go to the daily again, there you go. So a 68% profit, obviously a really good risk to reward ratio as it comes up towards this top line. Also being careful though of the fact that there is an order block up here. So if you were to be really conservative about it, you could get about 58% profit. You could probably shimmy this to these 2 points here and still get about 5.5 risk to reward ratio. If you were to enter when we bounce, I think we do bounce one more time. I think we bounce off basically the top of the range. I think this is the daily, to be fair. So I think we do wick up back towards maybe 27, 2-1, but I wouldn't hold on to hope for that. I wouldn't long right now. I would wait for us to bounce off and then come towards about 2-3-6-5, wherever we're going to end up being on the daily, and then long there, or just buy there, and then wait until we reach these high points. Coming towards maybe the middle of July, as does most thing anyway. So I said with, I'm not looking at any more coins. I'm like 15 minutes over the extra 30 minutes. I normally stream for an hour, and then we added another 30 minutes like last stream, and now I'm at 15 minutes over because we looked at other coins for quite a while. So I'm not looking anymore. If you do want me to look at it though, join us next stream. I think we're streaming Saturday in the office, so come then. I'm gonna go to Ondo and then Jito, and I'm gonna end the stream. And that's it. So what happened? How well did we do? We have some TA. This is good. So what happened? Oops. Where's this come from? Where are we? So if we shimmy that across. So we're here. I normally shimmy it across anyway, but the line was from here. And then it came. I expected it to come up to this range. The highest we came to, unfortunately, was about there. So we didn't come up to $1.55 for Ondo. Oh, I know why. Yeah, I know why. Because we have all these. We had this expanding triangle, and then we had another expanding triangle, which brought us up. But then we saw a resistance point, which is unfortunate. Basically $1.50-ish area. And then we came out. So we didn't come as high as potential. We only came to about 22% instead of 32%, or the bottom of the range 27%. So we missed off a couple percent from this total movement. Regardless, we came to this point. But anyway, moving along, resistance, support, and then we kind of respect it. So a decent area, nonetheless. Again, another decent area within here. You can see. So we've got a range. Whoops. Actually, that's pretty good. We've got a range, which we're in. But it does seem like we do have some sort of trend line possibly keeping us a bit lower if we go from here. Really nice trend line as we come down for Ondo. I shimmy this all the way across though. So we can see we're kind of really, descending. I think this is a descending triangle. This range was good. You see the midpoint there, really, really nice. This is probably some order block on some random time frame though. Actually, it's a fair value gap, I think. But I don't really look at fair value gaps too much. But you can see, with descending triangle really coming down now. I don't really see any order blocks. I mean, there's one here of good potential, actually. You can see. Bounce off there, really good bounce there. So a low support point just nonetheless, which is nice. Bounce. I think we're just going to proceed towards this price at about $1.10, which is about 5.5%. So this is on the daily. So this will happen over. Oops, that's the wrong one. So if you short right now, goes to the lower, higher point of it. I mean, risk to reward is pretty naff. So I'll probably put it even lower just in case. So a 1-to-1, but you still get 5.66. But again, we are in this trend and we're continuing on, and we're halfway through the move down. So it's not like we're gonna get out of nowhere unless we bounce right now, which is always potential. But I bet on the 1 hour we're probably forming. Oh, actually, kinda. I was expecting to see some sort of like flag, bounce. You can see this is really accurate though. If we bounce, we could bounce one more time up to here. which will be our third bounce, bringing us down. So we could come up 5% and then come back down again towards 10% if we go from this top point. So do, that's, be careful of that. On the 1 hour on the lower time frame, this makes sense. Obviously, we see you have a bounce off here. Potential. We also have a mini order block here, which it looks like we're bouncing off right now. You can see going to the midpoint of here. Let me draw this properly. There you go. You see, bounce on the midpoint really accurately there. Probably bouncing right now. I see us probably coming back up towards maybe $1.22 and then coming down towards $1.10. So what you could do, you could long 537. I'd probably wait until it comes towards about $1.17 to make sure we're actually bouncing. Giving you about 4%. Or what I would actually do better yet is short and put a limit short at about $1.21.25, and then ride it out, from here, let's say, all the way to down here, which I think will happen over, however long it takes. Probably putting your, that's a really, really generous stop loss about there. This gives you about 10% move down, good risk reward ratio. So that's what I'd rather do. I'd give it, like on what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll probably give it, or probably at 4 a.m. So I'd give it a bit to come up to here and then come down to this support point. I'm gonna move on now to Jito, final coin, and we're really, really quickly gonna end the stream after this because I've been going on for way too long. That's what I'll do. But you could just short right now and just do a lower leverage if you do leverage trading, or if you're looking to buy, just you could buy now and then wait till it goes up, or I don't know what you're doing. If you're buying, wait till it comes down towards about $1.10-ish area and then buy. Or if you're leverage trading or your futures, whatever it is, you could do this long and then short. I think it is definitely good potential. I'd probably long, and then I don't know if some platforms have a flip where you could, like, at a certain price it flips the trade, or you can just get out and get in. So you could just do take profit at about $1.22, $1.21.5, and then just do a short at about $1.21.5, coming down to $1.10. There we go. Going on to Jito now, which is funny actually because this is the one where I got it really wrong that one time. I don't know. I don't know where. I guess I'll just do this one. I don't want this. I just want the normal. There it is. Why I don't know why it didn't appear the first. Okay, here we go. How are we done? Okay, let me go on the high time frame because this is wrong. Where are we? That's the week. I don't want the week. How do we do? Okay, so this is wrong. When did I do TA? I did it. I think it was Monday. It couldn't have been. Did I do? When did I look at this? Oh no, it was just Monday, wasn't it? Yeah, here it is. So Monday 22. So I looked at it. Okay, when did I look at it? So Monday, Monday 10. Here it is. So we about here we had it. So we bounced off the line. We've come down and then we've come up. So if you were to have taken this trade, we've only gone up 9% because we bounced off this line. However, we are now bouncing off the line again, so there's potential for it to come back up. How likely is that, though? Well, let's have a look. Let's go on the lower time frame, though. This is coming down. You can see we are bouncing, though, really nicely. Again, directional. On the daily, though, daily's coming up. So if you were to take this trade, you wouldn't have been stopped out, which is nice. We bounced off this support point. Yeah, I mean, that's why I took the trade. I didn't take this trade, personally. But number one, we have this bullish trend line, which we're nicely going into. Obviously, now being careful, though, because we could... we could have potential to actually come down, because we are in this range if we don't exceed it, which we have to be careful of. But technically we have, on the 1 hour, really respected, exceeded it, come down. So you have to be careful of that. But if you were to take this trade, you'd be in decent profit right now. You'd be, 5% profit, which isn't as good as this 20%, which I promised. Obviously, I don't promise anything. It's not really a double bottom, unfortunately. I don't really think anyway, unless we go to the daily and see differently. I suppose you could argue, maybe a slow decline back up towards here. There's potential. I do think, if we come down, there's potential. I mean, I'd stick on. I'd hold on to this trade. Obviously, I know fees and whatnot. It depends if you got into this or not. If no one did, then fine. But we are in an uptrend. I'd be careful of like a bear flag, or yeah, I think this is bear flag. Yeah, bear flag. I'd be careful of a bear flag because there's potential we bounce. However, if you see on the daily anyway, we have technically bounced twice and are starting to come up. We need to exceed the neckline though. That is kind of the rule though. So we need to come up above $2.56 to then really come up. But we exceed. Bounce coming up was now exceeding it, kind of bouncing. So I'm gonna get rid of this bear. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep it. If we do follow through this double bottom though, it does bring us up a decent amount. This is over though. This is going towards 15th of August in terms of its trend. I mean, this took 35 days from this point. This 35 days. This is 29th of July, and when I think the 22nd of July is when we reach one of our tops for Bitcoin. This, I definitely think we could reach up here for Jito. But as of right now, I still think we come up. I'd hold on to this trade. I think we go to $2.90, this kind of area, and come up in this trend. Careful of this bear flag, but I mean, if you entered right now, I'd wait out. I wouldn't trade this right now because there could be this bear flag which brings us down towards $2.31, 32. If you're already in this trade, I'd wait out. If you're not in this trade, I'd wait to see if we come towards $2.31, because this bear flag has potential to bring us down to that, and then long then, and then just leave it. If not, if we exceed it and go towards $2.70, I'd long then, because even if you're at $2.70 and wait it out, we could, we'll go up like 66%. If not, over the next coming days, it would probably come up 11% to $2.90. So, there you go. You could get at least 10%, even if you waited it out then. So, I'd wait. I'd stick out. Regardless, either follow the bear flag and long, it exceeds this flag, goes to $2.70. I'd long at $2.70 to $2.90. That'd be about 10% profit, I think it was. I put it wrong then. Well, it's about 7%, 8% profit, 7%. Depending on what you do, if you do 10x, obviously that's 70% profit as potential. Get your 8% profit, or long it out until this 66% profit. Or, like I said, if it does come back down to this line, that is your golden ticket towards 24% profit. And if you long and wait it out, or buy and long it out, it'll go 91%. It'll double. Not financial advice. But if you're already holding it and you longed from that position, you'd still get 22%. So yeah, I'd wait out. I still hold on to this. But I think that's pretty much it. It has been a long stream. I haven't had any water either. I don't have any water in my room. My throat is dry. It's been a long stream. I do appreciate you all being here. If you're still here, if you are still here since the start of the stream, I have to congratulate you, because it's been basically 2 hours. It's been a long stream. I think we've done a ton of coins. We've done a good TA. I'll have to preface. I'm in 2 trades right now. I'll just say it because I have to be transparent. I'm in 2 trades right now. I'm in this trade. I think I already longed. I couldn't bother to wait. I think I longed about 9. So I longed basically like in this range here. But we do have this bull flag, which has potential to bring us up to all the way up here, which I'm gonna hold out to just in case. And then obviously I've got, as I already said, I'm in this trade. That's the wrong one. I'm in this because I do think we have potential for this. However, 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We might not. Got to be careful here. We might not print out. Got to be careful here. Anyway, I think we come down. Give it 3 minutes. Join there a second. I really appreciate that. Sorry, thank you very much. Thank you all of you for joining. I thank you for being here. I don't know, obviously, it doesn't matter how long you stay there. Being here is the thought that counts and whatnot. Obviously, being here I do appreciate it. Actually, let me go. Yeah, it's fine. So thank you all so much for joining. I will be back with Mike on Saturday when we do our really professional stream, where we're really both professional and not knackered from it being so early. And in terms of me coming back, I'm not going to stream tomorrow. I might hopefully get my video uploaded, my next episode, into Marcus Cypher series. And if I get my pad out, it is actually basically just more examples of how to read Marcus Cypher. The first 2 episodes, the first one was kind of introducing what everything means. I think that's a really critical episode if you don't actually... Because we give this away for free multiple times. If you don't have it, come to Telegram, you can get it. If you... I said it in the video as well. If you open this up, if we had this on full screen, if I had no idea what I was doing, this would be really complicated. And on the default settings, I think it's even more complicated. So that first video kind of goes through, what each and everything of this means, and then just some random examples, kind of just going through the charts, showing different situations of the price. Obviously, next episode, I plan to hopefully upload by tomorrow. We'll go through more examples in depth on how to actually read it, and then each subsequent video will go through each, money flow, momentum, VWAP, really, and where they shine, basically. But, that will come in due time. In terms of streaming, though, since I do my own stream next, I'll probably stream Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Or maybe either Monday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Friday, something like that. I want to wait out to see when we pump, basically. Because it's soon. It's going to be soon. But I think by Saturday, we should have done something. If not, I will give an update. So I think Saturday, I do want to do some TA on Bitcoin and whatnot. Because I do want to see what happens with the entire, basically, situation. That's the wrong one. I want to see what goes on with this, we've still printed below. You can see we properly printed below, and now we're kind of, still maybe probably coming back up. We're still in this range. We're still in this trend. So I do think within maybe tomorrow, I'm excited to see tomorrow, 12 p.m. tomorrow, what goes on if we come down towards 56,500, and then we long, and then we make all the money, and then we don't do it ever again, and then boom. So yeah. Thank you, and I will see you Friday, I'll see you Saturday, maybe Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday. Goodbye.